First, I want to report on my country visit to Algeria and Brazil. I want to thank both states for inviting me to their countries and for their full cooperation during my visits. I thank all those who spoke with me over the course of my visits. I really did feel very welcome in both countries. I also appreciate the engagement of Brazil and Algeria during the preparation of the report I'm presenting today. Firstly, Brazil. There are enormous challenges for human rights defenders in your country, as you know. They risk killings, violent physical attacks, threats and dispossession. The roots of those risks are historical, but they are for the current administration to address. In my report, I focus on the situation of defenders most at risk, those engaged in struggles for land, indigenous defenders, Quilombola defenders, rural workers, and defenders from other traditional communities, women human rights defenders, particularly those faced with intersectional violence, such as black working women, journalists covering human rights issues at the local level, trans defenders in all areas, social and cultural activists working with the most vulnerable in Brazilian society, and many others. There are detailed recommendations in the report, and I urge the state to take action on them. The demarcation and titling of indigenous on Quilombola land must be prioritised. The state must guarantee that the right to free, prior and informed consent is respected in business activities, including the right to say no, and the protection programme for human rights defenders must be improved. There is a huge opportunity for Brazil with COP30 in Belém this year. The climate COP has historically been a hostile and risky place for human rights defenders. I'm asking the Brazilian authorities to change the tide and make it a safe space where they can participate meaningfully. I do not want this to be yet another report that simply goes unacted upon. Human rights defenders in Brazil I met told me that that was their fear, that they would speak to me and I would write it down and then nothing would happen. I'm calling on the Brazilian authorities to ensure that that is not the case.